Welcome to the next lesson. Get more reviews on Autopilot with ManyChat. And in this lesson we're going to cover a recap of the product insert, an overview of the whole process, pre-game and tips for success, setting up your flow to deliver your promise and ask for a review, and connecting your product insert to ManyChat to capture customers who scan your QR code. So when it comes to the product insert, don't forget you'll need a product insert within your packaging. We covered this in Module 3. Keep it simple with clear direction and tell your customer exactly what they need to do in step-by-step instructions. A standard business card size works great, just ensure it fits inside your packaging. And here's a great example. When it comes to creating a QR code, we use qr-code-generator.com, and you can also brand that QR code with your logo, as I've done here for Verve Kitchen on the right. So when it comes to the entire process, step 1, a percentage of your customers will scan the QR code on your product insert and be taken into ManyChat. We will then ask the customer to confirm they want our offer, whether that's a free product or an extended warranty, etc. We acquire the required details from the customer, such as their email address, cell phone number, or shipping address. We deliver upon our promise, so if that's we deliver a free product, we'll go ahead and fulfill that product to them and let them know. Or if we're going to extend their warranty, we'll confirm that's been done. Or if we're going to give them an ebook of some sort, we'll deliver that ebook within ManyChat. But we deliver upon the promise of our offer. And then we follow up to see if they received it and if they like it. And finally, we ask for a review. So throughout this process, we have different flows and different messages that we're using within ManyChat that are delivered via Facebook Messenger to our customer to achieve this result. Now, before we get started, I want to ensure that we're on the same page. There is a lot we can do in ManyChat, and we will be covering more advanced ManyChat campaigns later in the program. However, right now, we are going to implement the simplest way of achieving our objective of getting more reviews. Practice makes perfect. It may take you a few attempts to get this right, especially if you've never done it before. But the more you do it, the more familiar you're going to be, and it will all fall into place. Take this one step at a time. I advise watching this video all the way through to the end, and then go back to the start to follow along and pause while you're doing it. Okay, so let's jump in. And some tips for success. Be conversational in your messaging, like you're talking to a friend. Facebook Messenger is a very personal, intimate place for communication, and you need to meet your customers where they're at and their expectation of the type of conversation they would receive within Facebook Messenger. Match your target audience's language. So as we've said before, use Facebook groups, use the internet to understand exactly how your target audience are communicating, the language and the words they're using. And communicate with your brand's voice. Be consistent. If you've used a certain tone and voice throughout your branding, match that tone within your conversational messaging out of ManyChat into Facebook Messenger. And at the end of the day, be yourself and enjoy it. If you're being yourself and enjoying what you're doing, your messaging will flow much more naturally, and this will show up in the results that are generated. And finally, when it comes to creating tags within ManyChat, which we're going to be doing throughout our flows, it's a good idea to write them down and just make a note of what that tag means. As we build out various campaigns within ManyChat, we're going to create hundreds of different tags, and it can often be difficult to keep track of what each tag means. By writing it down and making a quick internal note of what that tag is to be used for, you'll keep yourself organized, which will set you up for success in the future. Okay, so let's open up ManyChat and start building our review follow-up flow. So I'm on the dashboard of my ManyChat account for my brand Verve Kitchen. When it comes to configuring the follow-up sequence of flows that is connected to our product insert, there are 2 or 3 different moving parts, and we have to build them out layer by layer and then connect them together. The first step is to build a flow that welcomes them into the brand and confirms that they'd like to take you up on your offer. Before we go ahead and start creating flows, as I mentioned before, within flows there are folders that allow you to stay organized, because as we build out campaigns in ManyChat, we can get into the hundreds of flows, and keeping track of which flow is intended for which use is really important. So click New Folder, and we're going to call this Product Name, so whatever your product name is, Product Insert. Cool. And then click into that folder and click New Flow. And this is going to be the product name, Product Insert, Welcome. So always use very descriptive names that at a glance you understand exactly which flow that is and where it's connected. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. So remember, flows are a set of pre-configured interactive messages that are delivered to our subscribers via Facebook Messenger. To edit that first message, we're going to go ahead and click on the starting step. And then on the left-hand side, start creating the first step of our flow. Now, I really like using animated GIFs as a way of building rapport, putting a smile on my customer or my subscriber's face, and adding personality to my brand. So there's a great website called Giphy, giphy.com, and there's a whole range of animated GIFs that make you smile. And making someone smile with their first interaction with our brand sets the tone of our conversation and is a really good way of increasing engagement with our campaigns. So I've just searched "Hey Friends," which matches the sort of tone of voice for Verve Kitchen, and I quite like this animated GIF here. So I'm going to go ahead to Media, and I'm looking for the MP4 link, which is a video, and I'm going to click Copy. And then I'm going to go to easygif.com, video to GIF, and convert that video over to an animated GIF. So I'll just paste the URL and click Upload Video, come down and click Convert to GIF. And what that's just done is converted that video into an image file that's animated. From here, I'm going to save the image, something descriptive. And then before I upload it into ManyChat, it's a really good idea to compress the file size so that it loads really quickly when deployed within your ManyChat campaigns. The next tool I'm going to use is easygif.com/optimize. I'm going to upload that file that I just downloaded and click Upload. And then once that's uploaded, we're going to click Optimize GIF. And as you can see, the tool has reduced and compressed the image file by 20%. So from here, we're going to right click, save image as, and then save it as "Hey Friends, min" for minimized, and click Save. So I'm going to come back to my campaign. I added the image element and dragged it to the top using the drag icon here. And I'm going to click on the image and select that optimized image to add into my campaign. And then what will happen, in a minute we'll preview this and send this to our own Messenger inbox. And that will show up as an animated image within the Facebook Messenger application on our customer or subscriber's smartphone. Now, every time you're writing a message within your flow, you have to visualize where your customer or subscriber is at in their relationship with our brand, and whether this is the first time they're connecting with us, or maybe they've already connected with us a few days ago and we're following up. So always be conscious of exactly where they're at in that journey. Now, in this instance, our customer has ordered our product from Amazon, opened up the packaging, and found our product insert that's offering them something of high perceived value. For this demonstration, I'm actually going to offer them a second product free. So this is the first interaction they're having with our brand, so we want to just welcome them into the brand and confirm that they want to take us up on that offer. So, hey, and then use the token here, first name, always personalize the messaging. There's a few elements to this message here. Obviously, where I've mentioned second set of taco holders, you would replace that with your own reference to your own product. So if that was silicone spatula, and you decided that you were going to give a product away free as a product insert offer, you'd say something like, so you want to know how to get a second silicone spatula free, right? Now, again, I've used very conversational language here, like I'm speaking to a friend. I'm matching the voice and the tone of my brand. If you're maybe in a more professional market, then you obviously change this to a more professional tone of voice. And again, make this your own. Yes, you can use what I'm writing here, but if you really be yourself and engage and make this your own, that will come through in your results. So don't just copy this, write your version and make it your own for your brand. From here, the next thing I need to do, I'm going to add a couple of quick replies. You could use buttons here, but as we're keeping the customer inside of ManyChat right now, quick replies are a lot more engaging and visually pleasing when they come through in Facebook Messenger, and I'll show you exactly what I mean in a second. So we're going to go ahead and click quick reply. I'm going to put yes, please. And then I always like to use emojis where people are taking action. I've found in all of my testing that if you use emojis on buttons, it increases the engagement with that button. You get a higher percentage of people click on that button or that quick reply. So yes, please with a thumbs up. And then we'll add a second quick reply that's no thanks with a thumbs down. So the objective here is to get your customer or subscriber to confirm that they do in fact want to take you up on your offer. Now, when it comes to your offer, as I said, for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to offer a second set of taco holders free. But if you were doing an extended warranty or maybe delivering an ebook, you obviously need to change the message to align with what the offer that you're giving them. So if it was an extended warranty, it might say something like, "Hey Dan, welcome to Verve Kitchen. So you ordered our taco holders and want to register your extended warranty, right?" So again, always change the message to match the intent of the offer that you've included on your product insert. But for mine, I'm going to offer a second set free, so I'm happy with that. So if I click on my yes please, I then want to send them a message. And as you can see in the flow builder over here, that's then created a second message that's linked to that button. And the same with no thanks, we also want to send a message there, and that's then created a second message. Now, a point to note here is I am in something called the flow builder. You may be viewing a different screen to me, which would be the basic builder. So this is the basic builder, and sometimes I actually prefer working in this because it gets less crowded. So as you can see, now all that's happened is when I clicked yes please, it created that second message, and that message has been attached here under attached steps. So you may find it easier working in the basic builder, but if you're a visual person, you may prefer to work in the flow builder, which sort of shows you the visual representation of the flow. And as you sort of zoom out, you can then see, as we build out this flow, you can see all the elements and how they're connected together. So I'm actually going to jump over to the basic builder for now. And where yes please is connected to send message 1, to keep yourself organized, it's a really good idea to rename your steps before working on them. So if you click the little pencil icon here, I'm going to rename that to yes please, as that's the one that's connected to yes please. So if I click on that now, that should say yes please. And then message 2 is no thanks. Cool, so I'm happy with that. So the first one I want to edit is yes please. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that message. And again, I'm going to find a animated GIF that represents the emotion that I want to communicate at this step in the journey. So here's quite a funny one that puts a smile on my face. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. It matches the tone and voice of my brand. So again, I'm going to go to media. I'm going to copy that MP4, paste it into my video to GIF converter tool, upload the video, come down, convert it to GIF, and then go ahead and save that image as excited. And then just for good practice, I'm going to go ahead and compress that image so it loads quickly within my campaign. Cool, and again, save that, and we'll call that excited, for minimized. Cool. So I want to add an image, drag that image to the top, paste that image, and there you go, upload that image into the browser. Now, because this is an attached step, we can now start to mimic human behavior. And there's an element within ManyChat called delay. And what that will do is it will add a 3-second delay. So I like to add this between elements, and it mimics human behavior. So in the subscriber or the customer's smartphone application within the Facebook Messenger interface on their laptop, computer, or smartphone, it will mimic someone typing a message where you get the 3 dots that are loading. So it just adds a bit more personality to the flow. And it also allows the subscriber to digest the information you're communicating in parts instead of receiving it all in one big block. So I'm going to go ahead and add that 3-second delay and then begin to write out the instructions of how your customer redeems that offer. So what information should your customer give you to enable you to deliver upon your promise and give them the offer you promised on your product insert? Again, in this instance, we're going to offer a second set of taco holders free. So at this point, high perceived value, I'm going to ask for email address, cell phone number, and obviously their shipping address. Now, the more things you ask for, the more drop off you will get. There's a concept in marketing called friction, and we want to keep it as low friction as possible. So what's the absolute minimum information I can ask for to deliver the result? But in this instance, because I'm offering a second product free, I'm going to go ahead and ask for their email and their cell phone number as well. It allows me to do marketing in the future using those channels. So for the first message within this section of the flow, we want to just acknowledge their decision. So this is appropriate for the voice and the tone of my brand and the type of person that I'm going to be attracting. I'm then going to add a 3-second delay again and add some more text. And then we're going to start the instructions of exactly what we need from our customer to be able to fulfill that promise. So the first thing I'm going to tell them is, okay, to send you a second set of taco holders free, we need the following information. At this point, we're going to use one of the pro features, which is why we upgraded the account, that allows the subscriber to reply to our question. So we're going to use the user input element. And the first one we're going to ask for is going to be their email address. And where we're telling them to do something, again, I always like to use emojis that points them in the direction of what we need them to do. And you'll notice how I use the word best here with email address. You don't want any old email. You want their email that they're checking daily. So type your best email address. Then it will wait for your customer or subscriber to reply to that message. So this flow will not continue until it gets a response on that question. So best email address, and the reply type is going to be email. And then we're going to save the email to the system field, which saves that customer's email within ManyChat, which can be used to send the customer emails at a later date. It will also check that the email is valid and in the correct format before allowing the flow to continue. And if it's not, it will send a message to the subscriber that says, please enter a correct email address. They do have the option to skip, and it's your decision whether you enforce this or not at the point of actually coming to ship the product out. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Okay, so we've got the email address. We now want to confirm and acknowledge their action. So we have their email address. Now we want to confirm and acknowledge their action as well as ask for the second piece of information. In this instance, that's going to be their shipping address. So again, we're going to use the user input element and say, good job. Now we need your shipping address, and then use a down finger emoji again. And you might use a down arrow. There's loads of different options in here. Take a look through and pick an appropriate emoji. So this is going to be text. And we want to create a new custom field here. So we're going to create a new custom field, and we're going to call it shipping address. And click create. And then click on shipping address. And what it will do is when the subscriber replies and gives you their shipping address, ManyChat will automatically save their response into that field on their contact record. So when you go into audience and find that customer, you can click on that customer and you will have their shipping address saved. Again, we're just building out our contact database, our customer database that we can use for marketing in the future. And then the final thing we want to ask for is their cell phone number. Now, again, the more you ask for, the more drop-off you'll have. And things like cell phone numbers, subscribers can be more sensitive to giving you. But in this instance, I feel pretty confident because I'm giving them a second product free. So the higher the perceived value of your offer, the more you can ask for. So again, we're going to use the user input element, confirm what they did. So in this instance, because I know people are maybe a bit more sensitive to giving out their cell phone number, I'm warming them up a bit more. So you're killing this, as in making them feel good about the action they're taking, letting them know we're almost done. So we're answering that question of how long is this going to take? And then finally your cell phone number, and then justifying why we need it in case anything goes wrong. So I've hit all of the psychological elements there to really maximize my chance of getting this information from my customer. Now the reply type is going to be phone. We want to save the phone to the system field within ManyChat, which allows us to send them text messages in future. ManyChat has that feature. And again, if it's not correct, it'll say, please enter a correct cell phone number. Cool. Once we've collected the three pieces of information that we need, again, I want to make them feel good about the information they've just given us. So I'm going to use another animated GIF. So I went and found an animated GIF that I liked. I went through the process of converting and compressing it, and I'm going to upload it into my flow. So to break up the flow, I'm going to add a 3-second delay. And then finally, we're going to confirm that we have everything we need and set the expectation of what happens next. This is really important. When there's going to be a time gap between the steps in the flow, in this instance, there's going to be a few days before we confirm that we've shipped the product, and then there's going to be a few days before we follow up to ask if they received it, and then maybe a few days before we follow up again and ask for a review. Whenever you're finishing off a flow before there's going to be a gap, always set the expectation of what happens next. So in this instance, we'd type something like, that's everything we need. We'll get that in the mail for you ASAP and follow up in a few days to make sure you got it. So I'm confirming that we have everything. I'm confirming that at this stage, that's everything we need and this transaction is complete. And that in a few days, we are going to follow up for it. So when we send them a message in a few days, it's not an unexpected message. It's that they were actually expecting to receive it. That will increase your open rates and increase engagement with the next stage of this sequence that we're sending them. Now, that's the flow complete. But then what we need to do in this instance, because we're offering them a second free product, there is a manual process here where we need to go and create a fulfillment order within our Amazon Seller Central account to actually physically send that product out to them. Once we've done that, we then need to trigger the next step in our flow. So I need to continue to another step, and I want to perform actions. So you click choose next step, perform actions, and there are a couple of actions that I need to perform here. The first one is I want to add a tag. So we know at this stage that this customer has purchased our product. And it's a really good idea to use tags to keep track of confirmed purchases, as that allows you to then market future products to those customers that you know have already purchased from you. So when creating tags, one thing I find really helpful is to organize my tags with a word at the start of the tag. So in this example, purchased, and we know they've purchased our taco holder because they've come through this flow and they've confirmed that yes, they purchased the taco holder and they want to take us up on our offer. So I'm going to create that new tag and then click to add it. Another tag I'm going to add is insert offer, free taco holder, which tells me, again, click and click, which tells me this contact, this customer, took us up on our offer. This will allow us in future to run reports and analyze how effective our product offers are. I then want to notify admins, as we need to be notified that this customer has given us all their information, wants to take us up on our offer, and that we need to ship out that second product. So I'm going to click notify admins, then I'm going to click on this link to edit the text. Dan Ashburn has just subscribed via the taco holder insert. Please send a free taco holder to this customer. And I want to be notified via Messenger and via email. Now, if you see this warning sign here, it generally means that you haven't subscribed to notifications from ManyChat within your own Facebook Messenger. So you need to go to settings, go to notifications, and just update those settings to ensure that you get that notification. And finally, a very important step is ensure that you mark the conversation as open. And what this is going to do is create an open conversation within the live chat area of your ManyChat. And that's where you can go back and forth with the customer if you need to confirm any of the details, or maybe they skipped on giving their email address or they skipped on giving the phone number. This is where you can force them to give you that information before you can go ahead and process that free product shipment. So I'm happy with my yes flow, but what happens with those people that click no thanks? We need to go ahead and also create messaging for those people. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto my no thanks message. And again, I like to put smiles on my customers' faces. So I'm going to use an image and I'm going to use an animated GIF. And create a message that acknowledges the fact that they don't want the offer, but also give them a chance to ask any questions or queries they may have. This is a really good way of mitigating any bad reviews on your Amazon product, because you're taking the conversation away from Amazon, capturing maybe any concerns or any unhappy customers before they think about leaving a review. This will give you a competitive edge on Amazon against your competitors. Oh, in that case, how can we help? Now, actually, in this instance, we actually need to use a user input. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, copy and paste it over, and then just delete out that original message, because I'm asking them, how can we help? And we're expecting to get a reply. We'll add a delay there. So once they reply, it looks like our brand is typing back to them. And then we'll click text and just confirm that we will get back to them ASAP. And throughout, I'm using appropriate emojis just to add personality and keep the messaging conversational. So once they've done that, again, we need to be notified as the admins that this conversation has been opened. So we want to continue to another step, perform actions, and the actions we need to perform, I'll mark the conversation as open. So plus on the action, mark the conversation as open, and notify admins. Let's click onto that message and just make sure it's a relevant notification so we know exactly what's happening and what we need to resolve. So Dan Ashburn needs help. Please reply in live chat ASAP. And again, I want to receive that via both Messenger and email to make sure I see that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. I've set up my welcome. And then depending on the option that the customer chooses, they either get given the instructions and we request the information we need, and then we tell them that we'll let them know once that item is shipped, that free product. Or if they don't want it, we acknowledge that and then ask them if there's anything we can help with, and we notify us if they reply. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and click publish. And then I can actually preview this in my own Facebook Messenger. So if you click the preview button, it will ask you to log into Messenger. So we'll go ahead and do that. What will happen is ManyChat will send you this flow inside of your own Facebook Messenger for you to have a look at, check that everything looks okay, test the buttons, and make sure the flow is working. So if I go ahead and click Open Messenger, there is the first step of my flow. So, hey Dan, welcome to Verve Kitchen. So you want to know how to get a second set of taco holders free, am I right? Yes, please. Now, the first time you deploy this flow, it may be a bit slow. I often find that it takes a bit of time before the ManyChat system catches up and everything runs smoothly. So don't worry too much if it comes out of order or it's a bit slow to react. It will speed up. So, okay, to send you a second set of taco holders free, we need the following information: your best email address. And you see how Facebook is, because ManyChat, we selected the email field. ManyChat is automatically suggesting the email address that's connected to our Facebook account. So I could either click that or I could type my own. Good job. Now we need your shipping address. You're killing this. We're almost there. Finally, we need your cell phone number. And again, most Facebook users have their phone number attached to their Facebook account. So Facebook Messenger will automatically suggest the customer's phone number. And generally this is accurate, whereas email addresses to your Facebook account generally aren't accurate because you created it years ago. But if I click that, that will then suggest my phone number, delivers my animated GIF of my baby saying yes, and then confirming that's everything we need. We'll get that in the mail for you ASAP and follow up in a few days to make sure you got it. And what you'll notice here is I've then actually received the notification as well because I'm the admin. So obviously the customer wouldn't see this, but when testing, you will see the notification as well because you are the admin that's been notified. And it says, Dan Ashburn has just subscribed to the taco holder. Please send a free taco holder to the customer. If I click check in live chat, it'll take me back to my ManyChat interface to the open conversation that we created. And you'll see it's automatically saved the phone number, the email address, and also the shipping address should be in here down the bottom here, look. And if you wanted to go back on the conversation, you can also seal that information. And if they've skipped any of the data, you can simply reply to the customer and ask them to give you that information before you can go ahead and process that order. Now that step 1 in our review follow-up sequence is complete, we want to connect it to the QR code that's been printed on our product insert. To do that, we're going to use a ManyChat growth tool. So we're going to go to Growth Tools on the menu and click New Growth Tool. And the tool we're going to use is the Messenger Ref URL. Where it says opt-in message, we're going to replace the template flow that's already created and replace it with our welcome flow that's inside of our taco holder product insert folder. And then it's taco holder product insert welcome. This is the first step when the customer scans the QR code that we want to present within Facebook Messenger. So click select this flow, click next. From here, we're going to give the growth tool a name, product name, product insert QR code, and click save. What that's going to do is ManyChat will generate a unique link, and when that link is loaded, it will automatically put the user into Facebook Messenger and activate that first step of our flow, which welcomes them when they scan the QR code on our product insert. So I'm going to go ahead and click copy. We're then going to go over and log into our QR code generator tool, qr-code-generator.com, where we will find the QR code that we already generated and have printed on our product inserts. From here, we're going to highlight and click the Edit Content button, and we're going to paste in the URL for our new ManyChat growth tool, which connects that QR code to the first step in our follow-up flow, confirming that the user would like to take us up on our product insert offer. And go ahead and click save. And now that has saved that URL, you can test your code by taking out your smartphone, opening the camera and holding it over your QR code, and run through the experience that your customers will have when they scan that QR code on your product insert. So in this lesson we covered step 1. Setting up a ManyChat flow to welcome customers who scan the QR code on our product insert and then confirm they want to receive our offer and collect the required contact information to deliver upon our promise. In the next lesson, we're going to cover step 2, where we will create a manual fulfillment order if required and confirm to the customer when they should expect to receive the offer. When they have received the offer, we will then need to ask them for a review of our product on Amazon. But for now, jump over into ManyChat and set up part 1 of your product insert flow inside of ManyChat.